Baylor junior guard Langston Love is in the portal after playing 3 years at Baylor. Um, so I want to make sure I get this right. I think he redshirted one season because of an injury. But if anyone remembers, Langston Love was a really good high-level high school recruit. He was almost, I think he was a top 50 kid. Might have been even closer than that. Might have been like a borderline five-star kid. Played at Mount Verde on some really good teams. Has had a lot of injury troubles in his time at Baylor, some ACL, some other injuries that have kind of hindered him a little bit. But in his second season at Baylor, he was a very productive player. 25 minutes a game, 47% from the field, 48% from three, almost 80% from the line, average 11 points. But he took a massive dip this past year. Obviously, he didn't play as many games, had some other injuries. But his percentages dipped massively across the board. Only shot under 40% from the field, shot only 33% from three, but the pedigree is there. He's got good size, kind of that guard at 6'5", and I think he's a competitive and hard-nosed kid that can also show that he can shoot the ball. So I'm sure he'll have a lot of suitors in the portal for maybe someone who wants to add a connecting piece who's also played for, you like adding guys from this type of environment as well, because like you're not adding them from like a low level like Summit League School, you're adding them from like a winning culture and program. But I'll throw it to you first, Dion. What are your thoughts on Langston Love, the player, and then we can kind of dive into maybe his next destination.
Up and down. I mean, I think like if you're getting the version the sophomore year Langston Love, you're very, very happy. I think anytime you're getting a player from Baylor, you're assuming they play defense, or at least they show a lot of effort on that side. So you're never going to question that.
Mhm.
If you can also get the guy that shot 48% from three on three attempts and, averaged 11 points and a turnover a game, like that's a very productive player. If you're getting the guy that pulled up shooting 32% from three, 38%, averaged 9 points on nearly eight shot attempts, you're kind of like, okay, hopefully you're playing really good defense. So like, it kind of depends on the version you're getting. A question for you. So well, two questions, I guess, because I'm new to some of the portal stuff.
Mhm.
One, because he doesn't have a list. When they enter the portal and they have a list, that's just them openly admitting they were tampered with, right?
So it's either openly admit they were tampered with, or like literally the minute they enter the portal, people are like, it's just because a lot of times it's the agents that are just like, oh, this school has called, this school has called, and sometimes them schools ain't even called. They just want them on the list. So a lot of that list stuff is like agents for the most part.
Gotcha. Because I was just like, because I mean, it's cool. Like, if we're just okay turning a blind eye to it, like, I just want to make sure I'm aware of like what I got to turn a blind eye to. It's like in the NBA, I know these players are going to sign before they're legally allowed to, and that's okay. That's okay. You get $100 million contract 1 minute into free agency. Cool, good for you. My second one, when does the COVID eligibility run out? Like, is this kid? Does he get an extra year because of COVID?
I think he just gets 1 year.
Okay.
I think the COVID year is over. At least I'm stating that it's over.
Okay, well, I love the NCAA deciding that COVID's done. If there were the first organization that was like, yeah, no, COVID doesn't exist anymore, we're good. So I love that. But yeah, I think up and down, if you're only going to get 1 year out of him, I don't know how many like crazy Power Fives are going to come rushing for him just for 1 year, though. That was kind of like, well, wow, that's about the COVID year.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate story for Love because I think that he stays at Baylor if he stays healthy. Like I think he's a good fit there. I think he stays there. And maybe this is a case where he does kind of take a step back and maybe doesn't play high major. That might be a case, but you could also put him, I think, on a high major team. I think you just kind of want him to be like a bench piece, possibly, right?
Mhm.
And him leaving Baylor kind of signals to me that he wants to maybe possibly play more, right?
Right.
Um, because like I watched a lot of Langston Love in high school just because he played for those Mount Verde teams. And
Mhm.
this was a dude he was quick, dog. Like he was quick, he was 6'5", he was strong as shit. And he's just had some devastating knee injuries. Like he has clearly lost a step. He's lost some of his bounce. I think he's lost some of his confidence. It's unfortunate, but it's kind of what the situation is. So um I could possibly see him maybe taking a step back, maybe going to the mid-major level or just like maybe a lower high major. I don't mean to like disrespect some schools, but like I could see him at like a TCU. He's a Texas kid, so like there's some other schools, maybe at SMU or something like that. I don't know. But like I think that this could be a case where he wants to play more, and in order for him to play more, that might be having to kind of lower the level of school he's at.
Yeah, I think yeah, look, I think you said it best. If he was gonna ride the bench at a Power Five, he would stay at Baylor, right, where he's comfortable. I mean, ride the bench was probably a little harsh. If he was gonna come off the bench at a Power Five, like he would stay at Baylor where he's comfortable. So I think you're right. He's probably looking to take a step back, get a little bit more exposure by playing a little bit more. Sneaky fun one, if that's the case of what he's trying to do, Memphis.
I can see Penny hollering at him. Yeah, go play in the Met. Yeah, that's honestly a good ad. I didn't even think about that. And yeah, that'd be interesting to see. Obviously, he played high school in Florida. I think he went back and forth. He might have played his senior season somewhere else, but he was at Mount Verb for a little bit. Was a Houston Hoops kid for people on the AAU scene with the EYBL. So, you know, maybe a kid that stays in the state of Texas. I guess we'll see kind of what happens with that when his list comes out. But I think it's going to be a big step for kind of Langston Love where he goes next. I think he needs to go somewhere that kind of fits where his body currently is at and where he can contribute and play to the level he wants to play. But we will see what happens with that when a list comes out. We will have updates for you here on Sleepers Media YouTube channel. It is March, and that means that March Madness is upon us. And if you are looking for a place to play, Underdog Fantasy has you covered. Sign up and deposit using code SLEEPERS, that's code SLEEPERS, to receive up to $1,000 in bonus credit plus a free pick. Head over to Underdog Fantasy today and use promo code SLEEPERS to take advantage of this amazing offer.